Hello, everyone. It's Isis from Embrace Her Legacy here and another live show. I'm just waiting for Maria to join so that we can get started. It's only Tuesday, but I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your week. I feel like my week has already been hectic and it's only Tuesday. All right, here's Maria. There we go. Okay. Can
What's
you
up?
hear me?
I
Hi.
hear you.
Okay,
Can
good.
you hear me?
You sound a little echoey.
Hold on. I hate these filters. They don't even like who uses those things? And they don't even you
I
don't
feel
even
like they're so dark and they don't really like
and I'm like you
make
don't
you almost
look at
transparent.
how I look in this one. Like look it made me look like a I don't even look like that. Like you know what
You
I'm
look
saying?
so glossy.
Hey, it's like wait, where was one? I said, girl, that's not even me. No, it wasn't
No,
this one.
no. I feel like you usually use like a
No, I
pinkish
know which one
filter.
I'm going with. I just want to
Oh,
see, show you. Look like that changed my whole.
yeah.
That's so not nice, and that's why people get mad when you meet them in person and
That is
you don't.
true.
You don't look
Hmm
how what you posted because I'm looking at this. I just like to get a little more light. Do you hear me better?
Yeah, I hear you better.
Okay, because sometimes when I put my phone on my laptop, it gives me a funky noise. But can you hear me now?
I'm hearing a little bit of a funky
Well,
noise.
that funky noise might be my dishwasher too. So,
Oh, it could be.
mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, it's not that bad, so I think it's fine.
Well,
We here for girl chat. It's
we
okay. It could be a little
here,
bit
and I
of.
want tonight to be very fun because
Hmm
I am not in a serious mood. So I don't want to be. We've had a lot of unexpected things happen today, and I'm like, girl, you're going to enjoy this life. Enjoy this life and enjoy this life. So,
hmm So do you want to get started?
hmm you,
Okay.
you still hear that noise?
Slightly, yeah. But I can hear
Yes.
you more than anything.
Okay. My dishwasher. My bad.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing Embrace Her Legacy live show. We had such a great live last week, so it only makes sense to do it again tonight. We're going to be reflecting on our year as 2024 comes to an end. We're going to think about our lessons that we've learned, and then we're going to set our visions and plans for 2025.
Mhm.
As always, I'll be having this conversation with our founder, CEO, and inspirational homegirl, Maria Melendez. And if you like what we do and you're watching this, make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube, all of our socials.
Mhm.
And while you're reflecting and setting your visions for 2025, you should be writing it down in your limited edition legacy journal, which will be available for purchase tomorrow, Wednesday, November 20th. As you can see, two beautiful designs, one with a crown and a kiss in the corner, and one with just a crown.
No
And
kidding.
yeah, no kiss in the corner.
Yeah.
So they're two beautiful
But most of them
journals.
have crowns in the back.
Crowns in the back and our logo.
All
Check it. Embrace a
right.
legacy.
There you go.
hmm These will be available for purchase on shopembraceherlegacy.com, or you can comment journal on any of our Instagram posts, and then you'll get the link to purchase directly in your DMs. And make sure you get yours because they won't be back once they sell out. Okay?
I'm not restocking for the year of 2024. Um, so no, and I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear. I didn't see it. I said next week once they sell out, they sell out. I'm not.
And that's
I'm not.
it.
And that's it.
Okay.
That's finito.
And without further ado, let's set these goals. Let's reflect. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I am ready. I am ready.
Okay.
As I'll
So
ever be.
I know it's only Tuesday too, which
You
is
know
funny
what? That's what makes it feel a little awkward.
because I feel like Wednesday's our day.
You couldn't tell me today wasn't Wednesday. I was like, it's today? Oh, today is Tuesday.
hmm
I was like, okay, today. Okay, yeah. And I know I couldn't do tomorrow and Thursday. So I was just like, all right, well, I guess today it is. All
It's
right.
okay.
And then I was like, but we just did a live. And I was like, no, that was really last Wednesday. Time
Time
flies. So,
does fly.
yeah,
You know that basically next week is December 1st, so
that's wild. Which is very relative to our conversation about just reflecting on 2024 thus far. And just so you guys know, the Embrace a Legacy team, we do take the last 2 weeks of December to rest, to restore and reflect. So to us, we really only have a couple of weeks
Yeah,
left in the
like
year.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because next week doesn't count because it's Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So, and and let me tell you, I'm not going to be shipping out journals come December 25th. So you sell them
If
out.
it's gonna be a gift, you
If
better get it before
it's
then.
a gift, you better get it. I don't want no texts, no DMs on December 24th. Like, Maria, can I sell you? I'm just like, no, they're sold out. Can't tell you anything.
Right. All right, but let's get into it. So the
Mhm.
first question that I have for you is, why is reflection important and why is it beneficial?
I think, like, if you're not reflecting on life, you're really just letting life happen to you, right? I think when you reflect, you get an opportunity to revisit and review and sit with yourself and think, which is something a lot of us don't like to intentionally do. Like, our thoughts are thoughting all day, but I think reflection is a time for you to intentionally point your thoughts to a certain direction and decide how you want to respond. What do you need to learn? What can you do better? What's driving your decisions? Maybe even ignite some gratitude. Um, it's a great tool for assessment. I try to reflect at least on Fridays, Saturdays over the week. And then definitely at the end of the year, a lot of time people want to reflect. And I think the most common time most people reflect is their birthday. I definitely do a lot of reflection during my birthday.
Hmm.
I'm going into an entirely new decade. So my reflection now is amplified because I'm not just reflecting on the year 39. I'm reflecting on my 30s. I'm reflecting on my 20s. And I'm like, whoo, there's a lot to take in, right? So I think that's why it's important for you to assess and then for you to make adjustments and say, all right, we did it like this past year. I think if we change and did it like this, we can get to where we want to go quicker or whatever. So I think that's why it's important. What about you?
I feel the basically the same exact way. I feel like you said, reflecting is to think deeply and carefully about the decisions that you're making. And I feel like that's essential when you're making life plans and thinking about your next move.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go through certain things in life, like make the wrong decisions or have hiccups in your journey, and you see that outcome and you see how it might not have worked for you, and if you don't take the time to sit and reflect, and then, life stumbles upon you as it does, and that same situation comes to you again, if you didn't think about it and think about what you could do better,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to probably make that same
So,
mistake
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And you're going to be back in that cycle, back at square one, like, what did I do wrong? If you really just took the time to sit and think about, okay, this is where I made the wrong turn, let's change it and do it better this next time, then we wouldn't be in that predicament. So I feel like reflection is super important and beneficial because it helps us progress in life and not make that same mistake twice.
Twice.
Hmm.
Or 3 times.
Or
I
four
know
times, and it's
I've
okay.
made the same mistake 17 times. Okay? And I think, like, one thing I want to do, just as we talk about reflection, I think one thing I could do better at is being a little bit more transparent about some of the things, and especially as a leader, because I see people all the time be on these social media platforms and act like we got it all together. It's like, no, I have fumbled the ball many a time, right? So, and it wasn't because I wasn't stopping, reflecting, and then you know what you need to do when you're reflecting? You have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That part is hard. You
Hmm.
can make all the excuses. Well, it's like, no, girl, that was you. That was all
Right.
you. So I think that part of reflection is important. That when y'all take time to reflect on 2024, and I think everyone should, be brutally honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, how can you expect honesty from other people? How
Hmm.
can you expect other people to show up? Because I know a lot of people going to have marriage and engagements and all that on your vision board for 2025, and you want someone to come and give you all they have. You have to be
Hmm.
willing to be real with yourself, even if it hurts.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, I feel like when it comes to like making plans for 2025 and trying to change things that you did, maybe making the wrong decision, you have to be accountable and we can't play the blame game when we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about making decisions.
You're
Because sometimes we're the ones that mess up. And it's like we can't say, oh, they didn't. That's why I made this decision, or they made me feel this way. No.
That was you, boo.
Hmm.
That,
And we're going to have to be accountable. Because, like you said, if you want people to be accountable with
yeah,
you in certain situations, you got to do the same.
yeah, and it sucks.
It does.
It sucks. It's like, yo, I'm gonna take that L. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I've had to take a couple L's in the month of November and in the month of October. I'm like, you gonna take that? Take it with your chest, M. That's what I had to tell myself. I said, you're gonna have to take this L with your chest. Be like, talk to yourself again. All the things that we get on these platforms, embrace, and we teach, like we have to practice them behind closed doors. So when I say talk to yourself as your best friend, and you have to take an L, you have to take accountability. Do it with your
Right.
chest. Do it with your chest. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question is, you kind of mentioned like major moments in life. So what are two top moments from this year?
I love this question, Isis, because it caused me to reflect. Um, some of them I won't share on a public platform, but what I will share, the most personal one, smack like not the most, it was personal, but it was pertinent. I walked into it and I didn't even know it was August 14th, Wednesday, August 15th, 2024. I ended up, I was actually at dinner with someone, one of my old interns, mentees, and we ended up at another spot. It just so happened how God just coordinates my step, and we were in Brooklyn, and it's a beautiful summer night. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go home. And we'll go walk up the block to this spot and just chill out, listen to some music. She was like, Maria, I'll walk with you. So we walk, and then I see somebody I know in there. He's a friend from someone from my past, and long story short, me and him had a conversation. And in that conversation, so I won't share exactly what was said, but in that moment, I realized that God knows what He's doing. And there was a time where I was a part of a group of people where everyone was getting married. We were in our early 30s. And it was really difficult for me during that time because I was like, God, everybody else is in my relationship, that I thought I was going to be in for the rest of my life was crumbling. And I clearly remember God putting it in my heart, like, don't worry what I'm doing in everybody else's life. And then I had this conversation with this person from that time of my life, and pretty much everything that glitters isn't gold. And I was so grateful that God did not answer my prayer to be with that person. And there's no say to that person. He knows there's no love lost. We just weren't meant to go all the way. Everyone's in your life for a season. But it brought I was like, yo, we really are out here envious of other people. And I'm not gloating in someone else's pain. That's not what I'm saying. What it just was like my whole last 9 years all came together in one conversation. And I sat at that. It was a Q bar lounge. I sat there by myself after he left, and I had to. I can't even describe what happened. I had to take that in. I had to stop. I was like, God, like, you're so good. Like, you really ordered my steps. One, I was supposed to be here. Two, I didn't even know I was supposed to. Like, that conversation, it wasn't a healing conversation. It wasn't like I needed to hear that. It was just like, wow, like, you really do have the best for me. And while it was hard back then and all the things. So that was a moment. That was probably the best gift God gave me. And it just made me trust Him, trust His timing. Not, especially in the area of love and relationships. I'd rather wait for the person God has for me than get into something prematurely and then, you know, have to go a less desirable route. I can't explain it, and I won't go into too much detail on a public platform, but that was probably the top moment of the year so far. And then all of summer, 2024. I think summer 2024 was extremely rewarding. My last couple of summers, I didn't really get to enjoy. It was a gift to me from God, and I think I didn't know I needed it. I needed to reconnect. I reconnected with so many people. I saw my old boss at her 60th birthday get engaged, and it made me just say, "Wow, you can." Don't tell people tell you
Mm-hmm.
can't find love. I said, "No, you can." Living her best life, I got to see so many different people from different parts of my life. It was really like this was a full circle moment this year, delivering the summer program in person. I feel like I became the woman, the girl who used to make all those mistakes back 5, 6, however many 4 years ago. This year, summer 24, she showed up, learned, reflected from her mistakes, and was able to enjoy her life in a really rich and rewarding way while still being true to my morals and values. You know, people see me hanging out. I'm like, girl, I'm still being me. I think that was the best part of 2024. Is just enjoying my summer because I love being out. I love socializing. It restores me, and I didn't know that until God was like, "I need you to go out and enjoy your life." So that was probably the most. But yeah, that August 14th, man, I reflected on that for like 2, 3 days. It was an overwhelming. I was just like, so yeah, that was that. What about yours? Top two moments of 2024.
I feel like I had a lot this year, but the ones that I could like pinpoint, I think that this summer for sure is was like my turning point,
Mm-hmm.
specifically in like content creating and social media. I feel like I put that down for a little bit personally, so I picked it back up and I feel like I'm excited about it. And I just think that with Embrace, like I've been trying to do different things and I can see it and I'm excited. Like just how I'm editing, just taking more initiative in like the social media area because I know that that is like my burning passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just happy that I'm like more confident in it. And I feel like Embrace Her Legacy is letting me do that, especially the summer program. That's why I said like summer was my turning point because being in person and just seeing the program because we were doing it virtually for a while. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like
Mm-hmm.
seeing the girls and how they transform, I'm like, okay, I feel like this is me. Like I'm watching them. So I'm like, you know what? I need to like give myself more credit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I when I'm in these spaces and they're like, oh, you're the social media manager. I'm like, I'm just Isis.
Uh-huh,
Like it's not that big of a deal.
uh-huh.
But now I feel like this year I really stepped into that role and
Mhm.
I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job in it. So
Yes.
that's something that is important to me and it
Mm-hmm.
definitely highlighted my year.
Mm-hmm.
And the second moment, I would say my birthday, because I feel like leading up to my birthday, I was struggling a lot in different
Mm-hmm.
parts of my life, like with family and like just mental health. And I feel like that was something that I was like putting on the back burner as well, even though I love my
Mm-hmm.
birthday. And I was like, whatever, like it's just another birthday, blah, blah. But it ended up being super healing. Like this birthday healed my inner child. And ironically enough, I turned 23 on the 23rd, which I think is your golden birthday.
Uh-huh.
So
It's a Jordan. Is it Jordan year they call it?
Jordan year, but I think it's like your golden
Oh,
birthday when
oh,
you turn
okay.
the same age on the same
Oh,
day.
okay.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, like I was at first I wasn't excited about it, but then when I went through everything and like how my life started shifting, and I feel like it was like the birthday energy and made me want to get up and go. It definitely helped, and I feel like I like this other half of the year, I feel completely different from how I did in January, and
Uh-huh.
I'm happy where I am, and I know it's only going to get better for 2025. So
Beautiful.
those are
Beautiful.
the two moments.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say I am proud of you too, because I know kind of the situation that you're talking about, like from August 14th, and I'm like, wow, I know
Yeah.
you were sitting and reflecting on that,
I
so I'm proud of
sat
you too.
in that space. I can't explain because let me tell you something. I'm making a movie on Netflix series just on this part of my life because there's too many stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when that part, and I don't know how or when it'll come to fruition, but I keep saying it 'cause it's too. I said, God, you're not gonna have me to have all these good stories and not share them with the world. But that part of the movie, I can't even show. It's just like I sat there for like an hour, hour and a half, just reflecting, and I was just like, God, like This did not just happen. Like, and again, so I also said that back to like this live I did on my page. I said, like, go trust God's opportune timing, and He knows.
He
He
does. Just let
knows.
him do what he does.
Yeah, just let Him do what He does. And another thing I learned this year is that God gives me what I need when I don't even know I need it.
Hmm.
That's the I was like,
That's
oh,
that's the one.
I didn't even know I needed that. Like, okay, so yeah, yeah, that was a moment. That was a
Hmm.
moment. But I'll tell you more about it offline, detail by
Right.
detail. Uh-huh.
All right. So we're talking about reflecting. This would be a time when you pick up your journal.
Pick up the journal and
Hmm.
reflect. Uh-huh.
So, what would you have done differently this year?
Um, self doubt. I would stop doubting myself so much. Oh God, like my inner saboteur was on one, and she still is. I would stop doubting myself so much. Doubting my ability to get it done, even though it doesn't look like the way I thought it should look. And I would also practice a lot more gratitude. I think I complained a little too much, so I think moving forward, I wouldn't complain as much as I maybe would have, years ago. Like, so I think I complained a little too much. So, yeah, I wouldn't do
Okay.
that. I would stop complaining. And a lot of us don't even know how we complain. Like, it's like, and yeah, I said, yeah, I'm not complaining anymore. So I just practicing more gratitude, stop complaining, and stop doubting yourself, sis. Those are the three things I would do differently moving forward from what I've learned this year.
Okay. I
Hmm.
like that. I'm gonna be holding you to those too.
Yeah, thank you. Because I realized, I said, you know what? Sometimes we don't realize how blessed we are and how things could be so much worse. And then again, how dope we are. Like
Hmm.
a lot of times, that little voice, the little negative voice that tells you you can't, it's not possible. I realize I'm super hard on myself. Like I'm like Maria, like everybody thinks you're doing a great job. Why can't you always think you're doing a great job? Like, and maybe that's why I do a quote unquote do a great job because I'm always like, nah, that could be better. Turn that, move that. But yeah, I think I gotta stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting. Um,
Yeah. Stop doubting.
Stop doubting yourself. Like you could do it. I never doubt being able to do it. It's just it meets my expectations of what I think it should look like and why I think it should look like. It's like, no, and you
Hmm.
doing a real good job. Like I think I need to do better at that. And then another thing too, stop caring what people think. Like my confidence has been misconstrued this year. I've had several people tell me like, "Oh, you think you?" As somebody told me, "Oh, I was conceited." I was like, "Oh, that's great. That's between you."
Okay.
He was like, "Yeah, because you conceited." I was like, "Oh, so then when a woman is confident, we concede." I said, "I'm not conceited." Like, but that's another thing. Stop caring what people think. Like I
Hmm.
can't control people's perception of me. You get what I'm saying? Y'all talk about women and be confident, and then when we confident, you conceited. I'm like, which one is it? Like
Right.
you can't satisfy the people then. So that's another thing. So I learned that in 2024. I said there are one thing for certain, two things for sure. You cannot control people's perception of you. Just show up, be who you are. If the people think I'm conceited, if the people think I'm this, I'm like, oh, that's between you and your therapist. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm. That's a good one. That's between you and your therapist.
Tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, that see, reflecting on
Hmm.
2020 on 2024, what would you have done differently this year?
For me, rest.
Ooh, that's a go.
What? I feel like I worked myself to the bone this
Mm-hmm.
year. I feel like I was very, very hard on myself as well. Like I felt like I had to keep myself occupied or busy to feel like I was, accomplishing things. So we're definitely going to be dropping that now and into the new year. So definitely want to, I guess the strategies I'm doing right now, just
Mm-hmm.
trying to find time on the weekends to just do things that I like to do or just not do anything at all. Because, like I said, I try to keep myself occupied to like feel like I'm busy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just doing things that actually are restorative and
Yeah.
that make me feel good And I feel like that's always constantly changing. Like this week it might be baking, next week it might just be a nap.
Mhm.
So just listening to what my body wants and needs and actually following through, that's something I definitely want to do differently. I think also being more kind. I
You
feel like I am a
are
kind.
so sweet. What do you
I
mean?
feel like I am, but I feel like when you are around people that you are normally around, you might not be as
Okay,
kind, or you
I
feel like you can
know.
let it down a little
Mhm,
bit. But I
mhm.
feel like I want to be like, oh, let me catch it, let me
Okay,
find it,
okay,
and then
okay.
take a different approach, because I feel like it's so easy to maybe snap on like a family
Mhm.
member or snap on like a partner because it's easy, like you're
Yeah,
used to them. But versus a stranger, you might not be
snap on
like
us.
that.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So I feel like I want to be more, get better at my communication.
Mhm,
I feel like that's been like a bit of a struggle lately as I'm getting older, because I feel like people see me as a certain way, and as I'm transitioning into this grown woman,
mhm,
they're like, oh, they're confusing the two, like, being an adolescent turning into a woman. So I'm like, all right, I need everybody to respect me as such. So I
mhm.
feel like that is something in the upcoming year too.
Okay, good, good, good. Do you still hear the noise? Because my dishwasher stopped.
No, I don't hear
Okay,
that
all right.
sound.
That was my dishwasher then. Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I'm very interested to know, what are two words that you would use to describe the type of 2025 that you want to have?
Another reflective question.
Yeah.
Fruitful first. And fruitful, the definition of fruitful means producing good or helpful results, productive, luxurious, plentiful. Fruitful, I think I have put a lot of work in that people will, there's things. I'm telling you, once I really do this movie of my life and people really understood, sometimes I laugh at myself. I'll be like, girl, if people only knew how much work you put in these last 10 years. So I want to see the fruit of my labor.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm fruitful and fabulous. And fabulous means amazingly good, wonderful, extremely pleasing, remarkable, and awesome. I want to stand in awe of God in 2025. I want to be like, wow, that was pretty awesome. Like you did that. In a great way. So that's kind of the 20. It just it's an alliteration because I turned the big 40. Even though I looking at myself, I'm like, you don't look 40. If this was 40, look. I said if this was 40, looking out. My friends are like, yo, you look like you 26, and I'm like, thank
No,
you.
you
I
do.
know.
You do. You look
Thank
like you could
you.
roll with me in my homegirl.
Thank
Hmm.
you. But I think I wanted to be a fruitful and fabulous 40th year. I can't believe that is happening. My reflection game is going to be like totally different because I'm entering a new decade, and my 30s were I walked in it one way and I'm walking out another way. So there was a lot of ups and downs. I think my 20s were very like steady for the most part. Like you graduate college, you get your first good job, blah blah blah, da da da, relationship, blah blah blah. 20, my 30s, all of that went out the window.
Hmm.
So it was learning to, kind of like stand on my own 2 feet. So I'm just excited to see what my 40th year will bring. And hopefully, and by the grace of God, and in the name of Jesus, it's all fruitful and fabulous for me for 2025. What about you?
I'm
What is it?
excited for you. That is really, really
Thank
exciting.
you, thank you. I can't believe. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how to feel about turning 40. I can't even hold y'all. Like I'm not one of those people who felt like, oh, she's getting older. But this one got me. I'm like, oh, dang! Like, all right, you kicked me. I was trying to be a PYT. I don't think I could do it
No,
anymore.
you still a PYT. Don't worry.
I was still trying to be somebody's PYT, but I guess I can't do that no more. But go ahead, girl.
What are my words? My first word is wealthy.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when people think of wealthy, the first thing you think of is like finances, money. But I mean wealthy in all different parts of my life. I mean that I'm having really rich, wealthy friendships, good relationships with family. I enjoy my job. I'm happy. Like all of those different things into one would make it. wealthy. So that's something that I want to work on. And wealthy in regard to health,
Yeah.
like I told you last live, working on my vitamin intake and all of that. I do want to make some major changes. So that's what I'm focusing on for sure. So I just want to live a very rich, wealthy, taking care of myself, grown woman 2025. That's what I'm looking forward to. And my second word is explore.
Ooh,
Yes.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about that in terms of more of like a vision board sense. I definitely am going to work on that with my friends. We have something planned next month.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to travel. I told you that I want to go back to school. So that's something that I'm going to be exploring. I feel like I'm curious about a lot of things, and I do want to tap into that and stop being scared because I feel like that was what was taken over in 2024, me being afraid of change. And it's like, no, girl, you're only getting older. This is the time to make mistakes, reflect on them, and change things. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna explore, try things out. If it doesn't work for me, we're gonna take a step back and try it again. So
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely what I want for myself this upcoming year.
Okay. I love it. I'm excited for you. 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, to be actually,
24.
I don't want to be 24 again. I can't even lie.
Honestly, the 20s, I see why they say
I don't want
the things that they say about the
to.
20s.
I think there's certain advantages to youthfulness of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have more space to make mistakes and
Mm-hmm.
fall and get back up again. That shortens all the
Mm-hmm.
years. Like, well, I don't know if I could get back up from making a big mistake. So that, like, the idea of being a little bit more flexible. But yeah, God, I didn't know who the heck I was at 24, baby, and I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
I look at you guys and just the young women I have around me, the women I have around me. I'm like, you guys have. I'm so proud of y'all. Like, y'all doing your thing. Y'all got yourself together. Y'all doing it. Like, you're doing everything you need to do, and you're not making unnecessary mistakes. That's what I see about you guys. So I'm proud of y'all. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yes, I've been trying my best to be very intentional, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we talked about what we want to do in 2025. So, how do you see the vision when you're planning something or starting something new?
The Bible says write the vision and make it plain. So first you write it down. And legacy journal. I think for me, I do at my third, one of my first, I think my third, she said, Maria, you live in your head a lot. And I know what she meant. Like I envision a lot of things, good and not so good. And I have to work on taking back those because those are anxious thoughts. Those are not
Mm-hmm.
from God. But yeah, I just like to just sit down and think and ask myself, what do I want the outcome to really look like? When the thing like 2025 is like when I get to the 2025, to the end of 2025, and I say, this was an awesome year. This was a fabulous and fruitful year. What would that look like? And I start to envision different things, how do I look? Where am I living? Who is there with me? What's going to make me feel? What's gonna trigger that emotion? And then I like to sit down, like feel it, taste it. There's actually something, a bag that I want, not that I want, that I'm getting, and I sat with myself last week and I felt myself touching the leather, and I smell, like it's like I go through this 5 senses. I'm like, how does it feel? How does it smell? Like you got like all of that. Get in the moment. Get there. Envision it. So that's what I say. Like envision yourself in that moment and feel that moment, right? I think with the girls in Kutztown, I had them do their confidence walk, and some of them were seniors. And I said, go to the moment where your name is being called and you're getting your degree. And when I said that, I saw the shift in some of them. They were like, oh my God. It's like,
Like,
yeah,
this
that
is
is,
my time.
yeah, that's your moment. That's what you're working towards. So I think that's what it is, like when you're starting to plan something, and even like things that we have coming up for 2025, different events, different initiatives, different programs. I'm already there. I already see it. I already see who's on that stage. I already see the electricity. And that's why I try, as a leader, my job is to be a visionary. and I have to give y'all a vision to come support and help execute. So I'm like, no, this is what I want. And I keep telling, I want everyone to feel electricity of Embrace Her Legacy when they walk into that room, because that's what I've already envisioned. I've already seen that room. That room is electric. I see this. I see that. I see this. I see the vendors over here. I see the speakers over here. I see the stage over here. I see the podcast booth over there. I see it. I know y'all can't see it, but I do. So I'm going to paint the picture and hopefully paint it in a way that I can get my team to support it. So I think that's important when you're planning something new. If you want to lead people places, if you want to get yourself excited, paint a picture of it in your mind. Paint a picture of what it is going to look like to look a certain way, to travel, to be in love with someone that actually is worth your love and worth your time. Start your business, go back to school, quit your job, start investing in money, how that's going to feel. The first time you see 6 zeros in your bank account, think about that. Sit and feel, so that you can be motivated to start writing down your vision in your legacy journal.
Mm-hmm. We taking every chance we get. You better get yours tomorrow.
Available on
Oh,
shopembraceherlegacy.com. All
I don't even
right.
know what that was, but
I
okay,
don't
that
know, but
too.
hey,
They
I'll
liking it
take it.
too.
Thumbs
Right.
up. Uh-huh. What
For
about
me,
you? How do you see a new vision? How do you bring it to pass? All the things.
I am a visual learner, so when I say out loud, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I feel like I just push it to the back of my mind when I do that. So I have to actually be
Mm-hmm.
intentional and say, okay, like, we're gonna plan things out. So usually I'll take a day on the weekend. I'm like, all right, it's time to get my life together. Let's sit down.
With the
I'll take my journal.
with the journal.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I would take my journal and I'll just put it into the goals that we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
last week. Like, I want to go back to medical school. So I was like, all right, I put on the top, like, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to get there? What is that going to look like? The budget, all of that. So I'm like planning it out. I'm drawing things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I like to do it. TikTok is definitely how I get to see things visually. So in regard to the schooling, I'm looking up the school I want to go to. People doing like, oh, this is the tour of my school, or come to class with me. This is how I do my job, like the field that I actually want to be in. So I'm watching those type of videos so I can see like, okay, there are girls my age that are doing exactly what I want to do. That gives me motivation because I'm like, it's very possible. And they're kind of mapping out the steps onto how they got there. So it's like those are some of the resources that I put into my journal. Like, all right, I can do this. She says she saved this amount of money to be able to pay the tuition X, Y, and Z. So that definitely helps. So Google, YouTube, TikTok, some of those could be your best friend when you're trying to actually see the vision. And as cliche as it is, the vision board does help. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people don't like to talk about the vision board. I love
Mm-hmm.
the vision board because when you look at it at the beginning of the year versus the end, you can see, all right, like maybe we need
That's
to pick
done.
a few
Yeah.
things
Uh-huh.
off. So, yeah, I feel like using the internet is definitely my best friend when it comes to seeing the vision and writing things down and really making it personal to me so I can see like how that could be my reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't see myself there, it's not happening. So I have to actually believe that I'm going to be there.
Oh my God. Something just came to my mind and I want to share it. Dude, were you
Yeah,
done, Isis? Because I was
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm
okay.
done.
I think too, it's important to go to places and put yourself in environments and get around people who got what you want. You
Yes.
understand? So you might have to, let's say you want to move to whatever neighborhood. I would go walk through that neighborhood, drive through that neighborhood, start to see what it feels like. If you want that car, go test drive that car,
Hmm.
like go see what it feels like. And maybe you want to change. So one of my girlfriends, she is talking about, she just wants to meet new, what we discuss is like new people, new quality people from just a different, she just wants to upgrade the quality, not upgrade the quality of people of her life because she has amazing friends, but she just wants to meet different types of new people from different walks of life.
Hmm.
And she's making an intention. What she does is she goes to like pretty much 5-star restaurant, 5-star hotels, and she goes and she sits at their happy hour. And every time she goes, she ends up meeting some entrepreneur, some this, some actor like she just meets. She's meeting the type of people that she wants to meet. So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes seeing yourself, you gotta have to take steps. Looking, I think Google, TikTok, all that, envisioning it yourself, but then going and actually,
Mm-hmm.
like, you might be a little crazy, girl. Go, don't. It's not crazy until it happened. Go try on your engagement ring. Like, go find
No,
out
that's
what.
not crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Go find out what size ring you wear. Look at the ring on your hand. Feel all right, cool. And you don't want to like idolize these
Mm-hmm.
things, but it is faith without works is dead. So it's like, all right, what is it? What is that gonna look like? Living in that house, driving that car, wearing that ring, or maybe going to try on the expensive shoes. Go put your hands on the Chanel bag. And then two, getting around people, because you can only think to the level you're exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So getting around people who kind of already have that, and kind of already living that lifestyle, whatever it is that you want, and seeing like, oh, okay, this is how they do it. Yeah, I think that'll help you. That'll motivate you
Mm-hmm.
when you see other people like, oh wow, they're doing what I want to do. Let me see if I could, ask them to be my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You want to coach me, maybe do some apprenticeships, internships, just to like get your foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
That helps you, gets you motivated too.
Absolutely. I think also it can help you make your decision. Like if you get around these people or you go and see the engagement ring or you go and test drive the car, it gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, maybe I want to change some things. So I think that that's super important. So,
Oh my God. You know how many times I've done that? I thought I wanted, and then I go and I'm like, ooh, this doesn't I don't like this. This doesn't feel right. This is not what I thought it would be. And it makes you save a lot of
mm-hmm.
money. Because certain mistakes are costly. You like, woo, that just saved me a couple of grand.
I
Like,
definitely did that with my car. That's a perfect
you
example.
did.
Mm-hmm.
See, you
Mm-hmm.
thought you wanted one direction. You like, oh, let me go test drive this. So,
Yes, I wanted a car so bad.
mhm.
And then I went to test drive and I'm like, oh no, this is too small.
Mhm.
I'm pretty tall,
All
so I'm
right.
like, wait, I feel like I'm like this in the car. I'm like,
Mhm.
no.
Cool.
So I completely changed the car that I was originally gonna get. So I feel like
That.
if I didn't go and test drive and, put myself
Mhm.
in the plan, I
Mhm.
probably would have made the wrong decision and bought the wrong car.
Look at that. See? Look at that, girl.
hmm
Put yourself out there.
So I feel like we were already like dabbling into it, but do you have any specific strategies that you like to use when you're setting a goal? And why do you feel like it's hard for people to stick to a goal?
Well, I like my goals to be smart, and we've talked about this so many
hmm
times. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time specific.
hmm
It has a deadline. I always write my goals. Either I'm writing them down in my legacy journal, or I have them in my notes on my phone. Because I don't always have my journal on me, so I have them in my phone. And I review my goals often. That's what
hmm
I do. And I think that's why it's hard for people to stick to go. I look at my goals at least once, twice a week, and I readjust. I'm like, that's not, there's certain things that were on my list from like last year. And I'm like, yeah, that's not, I don't want that anymore. That's not really my focus. So I think why it's hard for people to stick to the goal because they're not smart. They're not measurable. So a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. You want these things, they're not measurable. How do you know when you got there, right? Sometimes also too people set overly ambitious goals, right? So you think, all right, by the end of 2025, I'm gonna be a millionaire, which I'm not saying is not possible, but like,
hmm
do you really have a realistic goal to get there? People don't write them down. You gotta write your goals down. Writing down goals 5 times more likely to be achieved. You cannot say I have a goal of, I don't know, maybe to our younger ones. Maybe you have a goal of getting X amount of dollars in scholarship money. Like, write that down and revisit that because you're going to have to work towards that. And if that's your goal, you need to start now. Like, you need to
hmm
start. And it's like when you give yourself time, there's room forever. You have more because you have room for like, let's say if you have a goal to you want to get 25 grand or 50 grand in scholarships, right? That's a good amount of money for school, right? But if you start a year in advance, you start 9, 10 months in advance, you know that you can get out, you can have more output, right? And when you have more output, you increase your chances of getting to that goal. Now, if you set that $25,000 goal You graduating in June and it's May. You
Mm,
haven't applied to not
okay, yeah.
1 year scholarship. It's like, girl. So that's what I said. So again, setting goals that are realistic, that they have deadlines, you revisit them. Because maybe you set that goal in September. It's your senior year in high school and you wanted to get a certain amount. And then, February come along, you're like, maybe I don't know, maybe I said 25, but I'm cool with 20. I don't know. So
Mhm.
revisit, yeah, and I think people too, another thing people don't say to their goals. I think a lot of times, if people are honest, they set goals that they think they're supposed to set as opposed to goals that they really want to set. It's like, I
Mhm.
think it's popular to say, I want to get healthy. Do you? Like, it's like, do you really want? I think we set goals thinking, all right, it's common, to set certain type of goals because they feel like that's what they should say and not what they really want. And if they take full accountability and are honest with themselves, as like we said at the beginning, you're not ready to do that
Mhm.
yet. You're not ready to get financially. You're not ready to get out of debt. You're not ready to lose that weight. You're not ready to you're not ready. You're not. You don't have the discipline. And sometimes you don't want it that bad. You don't have the discipline enough. That's why a lot of people don't stick to their goals. That's in my humble opinion.
Mhm.
What do you think? Mm-hmm.
Um, what did I say? For what
Four
strategies?
strategies, and then
Yeah.
why do you think it's hard for people to stick to their goals?
Definitely like you said, if I say a goal out loud right now, I'll forget about it. So I need to write it down. If I'm out in public, like you said, I definitely use my phone, but for the most part, I need to sit down and write it down in a journal, and I need to doodle and expand on
You
it and
are
do
a
a whole thing.
doodler.
I am. I have to do a whole think piece about what the goal is, what I'm gonna do. Like I like to do that. It really does help me. Um, I like to do, I don't know if you've ever seen this Disney movie. It's called 16 Wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And basically she has a candle for each of her wishes and she's doing like a little countdown to her birthday. So when it comes to goals, not like a vision board, but I guess you could call it like a wish list. I set like little rewards for the small steps to getting to the big goal. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, like if I want to save, I don't know, I'm just thinking randomly. Like if I want to save 10K and I make my halfway mark, it's like, oh, I'm taking myself to get like a nice dinner or something, or I'm gonna go do a massage, like, rewarding myself while I'm doing the goals because that is something that will keep me motivated. I think also thinking of the bigger picture, but setting small goals to get there instead of setting this huge goal that is a little bit not achievable, like, or at least not in the time frame in which it needs to get done. I feel like a lot of people are thinking big, which is great, but I think they're like thinking a little bit too far out into what
Mm-hmm.
is achievable right now. I think we need to think about the season that you're currently in
Mm-hmm.
and what you can actually do. I feel like never sell yourself short, but I think we also have to know
Be
our
realistic.
capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Be realistic and know
Uh-huh.
your capacity. So I think it's hard for people to stick to goals because of just that. Like they
Mm-hmm.
don't know their entire capacity and they might overdo it and push themselves. And that's when you get burnt out and then you don't want to do anything at all. Been there, done that. I could tell you from experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely one. And two, I think it's hard for people to stick to goals when you have a lot of outside noise or people that are telling you that maybe this might not
Mm-hmm.
be the best move for you or just like different opinions. It could definitely hinder what could be something really great. So I feel like you have to believe in the goal for you and do it for you and not for anybody else. So I think that, especially for the youth, I feel like with social media, I feel like it can kind of taint your goals. If that's something that you want to do just because whoever else
Yeah.
on social media did it in a day, still push for it if it's taking you 2 months, or
Yeah.
still push for it if it's taking you 2 years. So that's what I would say.
And two, don't share your big goals with small-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. My goals. I think I talk to God mostly about my goals. Like some of my friends, they know some of my goals. Like I shared here, like
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start learning how to play golf. Like certain things, but certain things I'm like I don't even want. It's like almost like you're carrying a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm not gonna do is miscarry what I'm when you're carrying a baby, you normally don't tell people those first couple of
Mm-hmm.
months, that first trimester, because that's probably when the baby's most vulnerable to miscarriage, right? Same thing with a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like you don't need to tell everybody oh, this is what I'm doing. When people start announcing that on social media, I'm like, first, you don't know that there are a lot of people who unfortunately don't wish you well.
Mhm.
Like it just is what it is. Um, that part. And second off, like it's like it makes you look like you're looking for attention and all the things.
Mhm.
So
Or
it's just like
validation or.
validation. That's
Mhm.
the word. As you're looking for validation. So it's like sometimes it's best to just keep things to yourself and let time show people, and then you show up, boom, the business, boom, the book,
Mhm.
boom, the community center, whatever it is that you were working towards. I think sometimes it's best to just keep the people who should know about you, need to know about your goals, need to know, and that's good on identifying who can help you or who can hold you accountable, um,
Mhm.
when it comes to goal setting.
Absolutely. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little personal to me,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like a lot of people could benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad when I'm constantly switching goals. And do you feel like there's anything wrong with that? Or how do you feel about that?
I need to qualify what you mean by bad. Like, what do you mean you feel bad? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel
I feel
disappointed?
like, why am I trying to do so many different things at once? Like, I feel guilty that I'm not, giving all my time into one goal. Or maybe I had a goal and now I'm switching it around. I'm just like, why am I bouncing back and forth? Like, why can't I stay on this one path?
Okay. Why do you feel like you need to stay on that one path?
I don't know. Like, you know how people say, like, oh, you gotta finish what you started. I feel like, oh, like, why am I taking so many different turns or trying to do so many things at once when I should, finish what I started?
Well, I think first change that narrative that feel like you should only, maybe that's how you work. I'm a real multitasker. I have several different projects in the air right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how my brain works. I can do that. If that's how your brain works, that's how your brain works, right? If not, then remember last week's conversation we talked about priorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So focus on your priorities to what you just said for this
Mm-hmm.
season. What's important for ISIS for these next 90 days or from here till the end of spring, right? From here till for the first quarter, here to the end of the first quarter of
Mm-hmm.
2025, what's most priority? And now that list shouldn't be more than three. There should be three focus areas.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I need to focus on. I don't know. You talked about your vitamins,
Mm-hmm.
going back to school, middle school, and one other thing, whatever you think. But I think that's what it is. Just focus on what you need to do in this season of life, and knock that out.
Mm-hmm.
And not say, so it was just like a priority, like, okay, ABC, then you have ABCDE. You have other things like, okay, those are my first priorities, but maybe I have something else under here that once in a while I might bring out and work
Mm-hmm.
on. But you know that these three things are your main focuses for these next couple of months.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I only feel bad because I'm trying to like do so many different things at once. I know I can. I'm just like, oh, like I'm working on this goal. Like, why am I also doing this too? Like, I'm forgetting about this one. So I feel like I'm putting a few things on the back burner, but then I bring them to the front when the time comes. So I feel like maybe being okay with sometimes you'll work on a goal, have to put it
Mm-hmm.
down for a second because the next step in this goal is right here and I need to take that
Uh-huh.
opportunity basically. So it depends. I feel like it's never a bad thing because it never ends bad. I just think maybe it's like I overthink a lot for sure. So I think it might just be my inner saboteur getting to
Getting the best of you. Okay,
me.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And I think that's just life. Like sometimes certain things come to the forefront. Like, okay, I need to focus on this for these next couple of weeks, and then that. So I think you also have to leave room for those to be flexible in your goal setting.
Mhm.
Like every goal is not gonna happen or go the exact way you want it or planned it to be, but like don't change the goal, change the strategy to get there. Be like an ant. I always use that like a strategy. Ants. If ants are determined. If you just sit down one day on a summer day or any day and study ants, like ants, they are so determined. These little creatures. And if I put, let's say, if I put a block in front of an ant is gonna go around it, under it, around, over it. But they're not gonna go. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna.
That is
They're not
true.
gonna. They're not gonna look at the block and be like, "Oh my God, there's a block here." And ants don't cry. They don't. They are some motivated creatures. Like they're like,
Tiny but
okay,
mighty, let me tell you.
okay. They are mighty. They're not gonna sit here and get tissues and start
Hmm.
calling their girlfriends like, girl, there's a block in front of me. They just gonna go over, under, around. They're gonna keep on going. So they're
Hmm.
not gonna change the goal. They just change the strategy to get there. So that's how you
Hmm.
gotta see. Be like an ant.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That was my last
This was
question.
the
So, do you have any
24.
last messages for the
No,
people? This was a quick live, but I feel like we was chatting.
we
I
was
don't
high.
know. I feel like we
We
were
did.
chatting.
I think for everybody, just make sure tomorrow. And if you're on the live still at this time, you actually can go get them now. You actually can go get them now if you want. If you're on a live and you stuck with us, you can actually go get them now at shopembraceherlegacy.com. You can actually go purchase yours. Yeah, and if I were you, I'd purchase them quickly because, like I said, I am not restocking for the year. We're not restocking for the year 2024. These are great. There's a letter written by me
Yes.
on the first page. I really wanted to be intentional about what was in that letter. And it's so funny. And I also just want to say thank you to everybody in their overwhelming positive.
Yes.
And I'm not saying this just to be like sales pitchy. Nah, like everybody's really coming to me like, yo, them journals they're hot. Every person that has either, we've gifted one to, or, had the opportunity to get an early order in, everyone's like, wow. And I think people are surprised at like when they get, I'm like, oh wow, they're not expecting what it's like a good surprise. They're not
Hmm.
expecting like, oh wow, I didn't expect it to be like this. It is a hardcover.
Hmm.
You can go through
You
the
see this?
airport. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It's hardcover. You go through. You could take it to the church, to the airport, to the studying, to the Bible study, to your vision planning sessions, to meetings, to therapy, counseling, and just sitting down with yourself and writing down your business ideas and where you want to be for 2025. My goal, I said, God, and I'm like, God, just use it to heal, build legacies, that whomever, when you start writing on page one, that by the time you get to the last page, and look, I'm still,
Hmm.
you get to the last page, like you are you're getting closer to your goals, you're a different person, you're healing, you're growing, you're changing, all the things. So that this is going to be great for this 2024 as we wrap it up. Anything else, Isis?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if this will be the last live of this year.
No,
So,
we will definitely be
okay.
back. Not next week, because next week is
Not next week,
Thanksgiving. Because next week
Thanksgiving, but
is
we will be back soon.
Happy Thanksgiving. Stay lookout for Black Friday specials from the Embrace Your Legacy team.
Hmm. Make
After
sure you get
that,
your journal.
get your journal, and it's a great gift. And if you're a man watching, you can get it for your girlfriend, your mom, your daughter, your aunties, your godmother, whomever, all the women in your life,
Hmm.
co-workers, family, friends. Is a great holiday gift. So just, I'm really looking forward to starting to see these babies sell out.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We probably will do a couple more lives before the year is out. I know next
Hmm.
week is Thanksgiving, so I know people are going to be focused on being grateful. Just really, guys, just everyone really have an attitude. And I know that's cliche, have an attitude of
But you
gratitude, but
have to, though.
God said, "In all things, give thanks."
Hmm.
So that's something I'm really working on. So yeah, just be grateful. um, Try to find delight in your situations. A lot of us are far more blessed than we give God credit for. So just count your blessings and hold on tight to your loved ones and to the people that you get to say that you love. Yeah, because this thing called life isn't always guaranteed. So just pray that everybody has a joyful holiday season around the people that they love. And for the people who, I know this might not be the easiest holiday season. I know holiday time can be a tricky time for some people. My prayer is that the God of all peace is with you and comforts you as well. And also for my spending people. Now, don't be going out there spending all this
Mm-hmm.
money on these children. They gonna be all right. Don't go spending money that you don't have. And please, guys, can we normalize? Like, if people don't got it, people don't got it. Like, like,
Don't be mad
stop.
that, hey.
Stop it. Like, I think we have to, like, this. Remember the reason for the season. Like, please don't feel pressured to go into debt. And these companies are banking on that. They are
Mm-hmm.
banking on you going into debt so that they can meet their bottom line and all those things. So, like, please, y'all, please just use a little bit more wisdom. Be safe out there when y'all here traveling and all the things. But yeah, man, I saw someone post the only way I'm interested in Black Friday if it was 5,600 and now it's 1,675. I said that's what I'm talking about. Like, like, just be mindful of that, y'all, because I think this time of the year we can definitely lose sight of what's important. And I know we want to get our children and all the things, but sometimes them babies, they gonna be all right.
Yeah.
They gonna be all right. Sometimes it's better to show them a gift of service, taking them to do something kind for others. Yes, you can get them the gifts as
Mm-hmm.
well, but
But live within your means
within
and don't
your
overdo
means.
it. Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of seeing us not in the best financial situations. So yeah, let's do better
Mm-hmm.
moving forward and make wise decisions. But that's it. Anything else, Isis?
No, thank you to all the watchers out there. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram so that you can see more amazing lives. And that's pretty much it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you
Oh,
subscribe.
subscribe. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes, yes. Make sure you look at the description box, and we have the link to purchase the journal there. And if you're on Instagram, the link is also inside of our bio, and you can just comment the word journal or any one of our posts, and the link to purchase will also be DM'd to you. That's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Thank you for this amazing conversation.
Good
Good night.
night.